And then you think maybe you just try and go up there, but it doesn't do anything. I'll give that a bash. Okay, so go down there with the zombie first. Let's give that a try. So I still have the zombie, I think. Yep. Good, good, good. Well, that didn't work. Yeah, so what we're thinking is right now we go down there and then we knock the pipe the other way, which should then put out the fire, allowing us to progress, but... There it is. You just had to be at a certain angle. There's no aiming reticule there with it, so it wasn't as obvious. Could have definitely done with an aiming reticule, I think. And then you'd know exactly, oh, this is possible, instead of, well, let's try it multiple times and guess. You always got to bear in mind that video game logic can be a bit strange sometimes.
Hopping from rooftop to rooftop, meeting violence, screaming like a madman, reminds me of salad ducks.
Alright. I wonder what weapon this guy's got. That's what I'm curious about. Every time we meet a mini-boss, he gives us a new weapon, which... That's just the kind of dumb humor I can appreciate. I'm sorry. And the little thumbs up afterwards. There's a bit of... There's actually, again, a lot to like if you can get over the fact that you're actually 29 years old and should know better. And thankfully, I have never had that issue. Man, I don't think you get the weapon, though, if you use the Bloodlust ability, so that's a bit disappointing. Oh, maybe... Oh, I think there's another one. Okay, we'll be able to use him. Good. Because that would have been horribly disappointing. There we go. Yeah, so far, the puzzles were criticized a bit, but I don't know if people were just expecting more. Like, personally, the easier the puzzles, the better for me, because I don't feel they should be interrupting the action in a game like this. Games like this are stronger when they're pure action. You don't need stuff like that. It's only put in there, really, to pad the game out. Alright, okay, now I'm fighting 3 mini-bosses, so this, I think, is where things are going to get a bit more difficult. And they weren't kidding about the amount of damage you take from those two. Ow, ow, ow. You do take a lot of punishment. Yeah, I can definitely see why there'd be complaints about this, because it's starting to get a little bit crazy with the amount of stuff it's throwing at you. And then it's killing you, and then it's forcing you back to a checkpoint quite quickly. Alright. Huh, most enemies are vulnerable to very certain types of damage. Okay, that's interesting. So maybe I'm not doing this as efficiently as I could be. Let's head to the database. Characters... Would it be under codex? No, it'd be under characters, I suppose. Alright, so... The side splitter is what I'm looking for here. Please kill them with prejudice, preferably by using one of the nasty weapons you make from zombie parts. They hate that. Well, that's unfortunate, because I don't have one of those. But I could get one from this guy. Okay. So they're most vulnerable to zombie weapons. Good to know. It is definitely pretty harsh. Pretty harsh. I'm not going to waste my... Yeah, is this actually 3 of them? Jesus. So I'm not going to waste my... Oh, I missed next... Oh, no, I didn't miss it. I got it, I got it. There we go. I don't think these drop anything, actually. That's a disappointment. Expected more. Yeah, those are actually not mini-boss enemies at all. They just look like it. It's just a new enemy type. The clowns, on the other hand, very much so. Now, I guess I could probably throw this as a weapon. Yes, I can. And it is a... Oh, I broke the gate from over there. Okay. Alright, well, now knowing those are not mini-bosses, I have a feeling the next encounter might be slightly easier. And I've also... You gotta bear in mind, I'm also sitting on my Bloodlust, which will kill those clown zombies very quickly, so... Not too worried about them. he says as he takes half his life in damage. Alright, bloodbath the shit out of these bastards.
So much blood.
Yeah, you just kind of murder them in that mode.
Is that good for you?
There we go. And there's the gold. Yeah, that zombie explodes when you throw it, I believe, so it's worth using. Alright. Ow, 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 ow. Did you take a lot of damage? Fuck. I'm still not convinced it's cheap, though. But I definitely agree with the assessment of those reviews that said it's like, hey, we're going to try and be like the other Ninja Gaidens, we're also going to be difficult, but the way that they handle difficulty, it's way ham-fisted. And that is to be expected from Spark Unlimited, because they don't have a fucking clue what they're doing most of the time. LOL! Rocket Arm explodes in on itself. You see that shit? But I just lost half my health from taking that combo, so... Yeah, the difficulty is not that well handled. It might even be best for, like, inexperienced folks just to play it on easy. And then they just kind of have a good time. Personally, I kind of like the challenge. But it's definitely a bit cheap in places. Yeah, what are they weak to? If that says zombie weapons again, I'm gonna get pissed off. Like, really? You can't just say zombie weapons and then not give you one. Alright, let's have a look at the codex once again. Find out what they are weak to. Did I level up as well? I did not. Alright. Characters... Not called the Stiff. Can't actually remember what they were called. Punch Drunk, weren't they? Ah, so just don't use your swords. Oh, look, especially if you're made with a zombie weapon, don't use the swords, though. Because apparently they block that completely. Okay, good to know. That's useful. So, a lot of punching, I think, is going to happen here. So don't use Y. Use the flail. Kind of stay at arm's length. And a lot of that shit is blockable, so... As long as you're not terrible. Oh, you can counter. Okay. So counter actually does work on these guys. It never kind of made that clear, but it is possible to counter. Let's get the hell out of the way of that.
Don't get up. I'll help myself.
Oh, shit. Wrong fucking button. That was the flail I was supposed to be using there. Alright, there we go. No, wrong button again! Shit! Oh, come on. Let's do it properly, shall we? There we go. And those do shitloads of damage. When you kill one of the mini-bosses and get a weapon from it, the other mini-boss goes down pretty quickly, it seems. Because the zombie weapons do a lot of damage to them. Well, they kind of do a lot of damage. Not that much, actually. There we go. Let's not fuck this up, because otherwise I will die and have to do it again. I fucked it up. Of course I did! There we go. Wrong button. There we go. You know... I am coming to the possibility that the reviewers may have been terrible. Right, that is also possible, but again, I'm not going to be too judgmental about that because I'm bad. One, I'm bad, and two, they may very well have been right that later on in the game it just becomes ludicrously unfair. But right now, I'm doing okay handling it, and I'm sort of learning from my mistakes, which I do appreciate. I like any game that lets me do that. I definitely need to execute more, though, for health, where possible. Those teleports are rather annoying, though, aren't they? Yeah! That's what I'm talking about with the counter move there. There's the execute. And the kill. You know, when it comes to Jim Sterling and scores, like, he just doesn't care. Like, he doesn't take it seriously, so I don't think it's necessarily fair to judge it by the score, but the problem is that, if I recall correctly, Escapist reviews do get listed on Metacritic, meaning that those scores have a tendency to affect the overall rating. Like, he did give 10 out of 10 to Deadly Premonition, which is definitely not worthy of 10 out of 10. But again, scores are fucking stupid. Like, I don't really care what people give scores because they're just so stupid and pointless. And people shouldn't be paying any attention to them anyway. And it just really saddens me when people do. Alright. Well, I assume it's got something to do with the truck. Thankfully, the restrictive camera angles usually point you in the direction you're supposed to be going. It would be a hell of a lot better if it didn't have them, though. Yeah, looking for a... Can I go back to the previous area? Because there was one there. But no, it locks you off. So whatever the solution is, which probably just involves throw zombie at thing, is somewhere around here. If you lot do spot anything, then please do let me know. Oh, yes, of course. I forgot that cybervision was actually something that existed. And there's a zombie who's going to drive the truck for me. Yep. Saw that one coming a mile away. I've only used cybervision twice in, like, the 2 hours I've been playing so far, so I completely forgot that it was something that happened. Well, I can certainly see the accusations of sexism have a reason for being there.
To man Yaiba, I have always preferred women's underwears to men's. If cuddling your maracas is wrong, then I don't want to be right.
Who's this bad fiery fuck?
Well, I don't agree with Jim's assessment that just the panties falling from the sky was the joke, because there was very clearly a joke there. I don't know, I feel he slightly misrepresented that.
My fucking panty party.
It's not a very good joke, but there is a joke. Did it? Please don't tell me. I bet it made my zombie weapon. Oh, no, my zombie weapon is still there. Alright, shit's going down. Here we go. Turns out that works pretty well. Very well. Very, very well. Got me a perk as well. Oh, did he not drop a weapon? Disappointing. I was hoping for a weapon from him. Just want to see what ridiculous other weapons they can come up with. Let's get some health back. There we go. Yeah, what? Jesse hating it is a bit weird. What? Did Jesse give reasons for it? Because, I mean, we are talking about the same guy that loved loved Metal Gear Rising, which is a very, very silly game. But it is silly in a different way. It's definitely not got too much of the puerile humor in comparison to this. This is, like, laden with it. That rocket punch is hilarious. Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, probably best to take these guys out first. I wonder if I can actually grab them. Maybe I can. Nope. Nope. Apparently not. I guess we'll just have to weaken them before they do that, then. It may have been too difficult, but I hate making that accusation of people because it's kind of ludicrously unfair, and it's usually the sort of shit that terrible fanboys lay down on reviewers and critics. Say, oh, well, you just bad at it then. Which is more often than not remotely true. So I never like leveling that accusation at anybody. It may just, hey, you know, maybe I just like dumb shit. But, you know, a lot of other people like dumb shit as well. It's just like, almost some of them seem like they're afraid to admit it. And it is certainly okay to like dumb shit. Especially dumb shit that's not in any way pretending to be serious. Yeah, it's very easy to appreciate that. It's hard though. It's definitely difficult. I'll play it a little bit more, and then I'll wrap it up. Oh, please, is it gonna make me fight?
Try that again.
Oh wow, is it putting me all the way back here? That's a dick move. At least I kept my electrical attack. Those checkpoints. Yeah, this is something that wasn't mentioned in any of the reviews. The fucking checkpoints are the worst. You want to see something that's bad? The checkpoints are easily the worst thing about this title. I'm just going to leave my weapon out here, actually, just so that it's there when I'm ready to pick it up. Make it a lot easier, so I can get it immediately and start wailing on the boss with it. Can you skip this cutscene? No. Yes. Yes, you can, actually. There we go. Don't think so. Just wrecked. Just wrecked. Let's grab that perk quickly while we still can. 360 knockback might be useful. Fewer dashes required to extinguish fire. More charge and distance for rocket punch. I think we just grab vicious circle. There we go. Hold B for a 360 attack. There we go. Some really satisfying brawling. Really satisfying. Almost Metal Gear Rising level, not quite. But it definitely has its moments. Dodge. I need to deal with these guys first, I think. I really don't want to do this whole sequence again. I'm trying not to die. Jesus. Not easy. Not easy. If I could master the counter system, I think I'd have a better time of it. I know, no, a lot of people were offended by Shadows of the Damned. A lot of people.
Not how I planned it.
Yeah, it's the checkpoints that I hate most. Easily. Easily the most annoying thing about this battle. Absolutely fucking infuriating in comparison to everything else about it. But I'm just gonna chuck that away and move my weapon again. You know what? I'm gonna leave my weapon here as a resource. And I'm gonna use it later against the two clowns because I think I can probably just take the fire guy much easier on my own. I have a feeling it may even be that specific, like, it mentioned zombie weapons, but it might even be the zombie weapons that do damage, like, with zombie parts, like the zombie nunchucks, instead of it just being a straight-up zombie weapon. Alright, I'm gonna fight him straight up. See how that goes. Yes, he does 1 damage, if you hadn't already guessed. That rocket punch is so much fun. Come on. Come on. I just want to move out of the fire. There we go. And I could have easily blocked and countered that. I just need to be less terrible. I certainly may have been mistaken when I said it was probably easier to do it this way. I think he does drop a weapon, it's just I don't think that he will. Yeah, he does drop a weapon. You just don't get it if you kill it with a zombie weapon and make him explode. Which is the same as, I think, what ends up happening if you kill him with a bloodbath. Rigor mortar, alright. Weak against fire enemies, obviously. Okay. Well, I don't want to waste that until the boss comes in. Oh my, it keeps your other weapon here as well, so if you're actually quite conservative with the use of your weapons, you don't even have to waste this kind of stuff. So, let's just drop this, and let's just fight with my regular weapons, because these are just like all zombies, and they're pretty easy to deal with. And I can just get all my health back here. So, a weird amount of resource conservation involved in this. You know, this was never mentioned in any of the reviews either. You'd think that it would be, because the weapons are actually not just simple power-ups, they're a resource to be controlled in a specific area. And it seems like a lot of the boss mechanics and mini-boss mechanics are centered around the notion that you will not use your weapons willy-nilly, and you'll use them when you think you need them. Admittedly, an inventory system would be a damn sight better way of doing that. Alright. Let's see what the rigor mortar does then, shall we? Wrecks people's faces by the looks of it. Go after the clown with this. Oh, Jesus, yeah, that weapon does so much fucking damage to zombies. Did that just blew them both up, I think. No, the other one's over there, alright. Well, I think we found the solution. Fucking hell. Yep. Use zombie weapons. But you don't get the... But if you do that, you will not get their zombie weapons, so... It's like, if you're good enough to fight them solo, you kind of should. Or maybe just kill kill all but one and then murder the other one in just regular combat so you can pick up his zombie weapon.
Nice work. Now drop in and introduce yourself.
Because that made the whole thing trivial. No, you're right. You can't tell people you shouldn't be bothered by it. It's dumb. Which is why you should make people aware that that humor is there, but you shouldn't necessarily be outright condemning it and giving the game like a 1 out of 10 on the basis of it. Here we go again. Sexist humor, racist humor, any kind of humor is unfortunately very prevalent in pretty much every aspect of media. And the best thing you can do is to tell people it's there. I mean, what would a trigger warning be otherwise? That's what a trigger warning is, right? You warn people that it's there, and then they can avoid it. The problem is when it's used in places where you wouldn't expect it. And, of course, games are becoming more inclusive lately. So, there is a greater expectation that each game will be very safe to play for everybody, and that there will not be anything offensive in it. And, well, that's not really true. There's a Steam thing there. And you might say it's kind of a shame, and I'd agree. I think there are other ways to make the character look like an asshole and do dumb humor. What? Really?
Let's try that again.
Okay, that's strange. Oh, well, whatever. I think there are other ways to make your character an anti-hero without making him a fucking sexist moron. But it's also not the end of the world. Not that that's, you know, a valid argument for anything. It's not a reason to condemn the game based on its mechanics either, you know? Like, okay, it's got sexist humor in it, ergo you might not like it, and you are totally right for not liking it for that reason. But in the same way that you said, oh, you shouldn't be bothered by this, you can also not say you should be bothered by this. Because actually some people are very tolerant of that kind of stuff. It's the same kind of principle. I guess I have to go back down. Some people are just not as bothered by it as you are. And feel free to say it shouldn't be there, but it is not a good enough reason to condemn an entire piece of media. But it's definitely worth criticizing. No doubt about that. Offense is a very subjective thing. But like I say, just as you can't really invalidate someone's offense, you can't invalidate someone's non-offense either. And say that someone's horrible for not being offended at something. That's just as bad. If not worse, because that person didn't really do anything wrong. You know? Okay. Electric zombies. Let's see where this goes. I'm not getting this lack of enemy variety here. There's actually quite a lot of them. I mean, they're all zombies, but... Oh, fuck, 3 at once? Okay. Hang on a minute, these actually kind of look... No, they're not entirely the same as the other electric ones. Okay. Just checking. Oh, let's wreck these fools. That's what I'm talking about. They're not actually mini-bosses. They don't drop a weapon by the looks of it. Ah, interesting. So there's some kind of elemental interaction going on. That's intriguing. There's a bit more depth to the combat system than meets the eye. If you combine the two, that's what creates those storms, which is why those things go down so easily. That's an interesting idea. We definitely do finding some more elemental resistance stuff. I haven't found any secrets anywhere, and considering how linear the game is, I would have thought I would have really stumbled across a few more. Need to be a little bit more careful, I think. No, that's not gonna happen for you. Yeah. I've had enough of you. Thank you very much. I could have got the execute on her there and got her weapon, so I'm a little disappointed with myself. Should have done that a lot better.